Headline tip, today at the United Economic Club, we're going to announce one of the earliest openings of tax season in history. So January 26th, tax season is going to open. We are going to see what is likely record refunds to working families because the One Big Beautiful Bill was passed July 4th. We did not because I'm also the IRS commissioner, we did not give employers new withholding schedules. So, and it's retroactive throughout the year. So we're going to see very large tax refunds due to the president's signature policies: no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, deductibility of American-made autos. So the refund season in the first quarter is going to be big. Working Americans will change their withholding schedule, and they will get a weekly, monthly boost up in their real incomes. And that's how we're going to tackle this terrible.
Hello, everybody. I think my audio is working now. I didn't go buy a microphone. I just turned up my levels. I'll have to see after we record today whether or not it's working. But anyway, today we're listening to Scott Bassett, who is Trump's Treasury Secretary. Bessent. B-E-S-S-E-N-T, Bessent. And he's talking to Scott Hennen, Hennen, in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It says in this, and this is AM 1000 or 1100. The flag, WZFG. I guess they're probably a radio station. Let me have a look. The flag, Fargo. So, is it a radio station? I guess it's a radio station. Let's come. So, this is their little banner. AM 1100, the flag, WZFG, Fargo. Probably is. It's an AM radio station. But you can also listen to them on Facebook and Instagram. And it's serving Fargo, North Dakota. Find us on your radio dial or online at AM 1100theflag.com. Okay, so there's that. That's what we're listening to. And this was recorded one day ago. It's had 102K views. And that's what we're looking at. Let's go. Let's go.
To run, but to protect, as a father to the child who is coming. But here the Bible keeps a thunderous silence about what happened next.
Okay.
What happened when news of the pregnancy?
This is a different recording I did the other day, the audio that you just heard. So we're going back to Scott Bassett's recording.
Energy.
There it is. Okay, very good. And there he is speaking. Let's listen.
Security, energy companies all across the economy, we're making it easier to build, maintain a business.
And obviously most of that impact is going to be in 2026. There was a ton packed into the One Big Beautiful Bill. Give me some high-level points on what you think are going to have the most impact the soonest.
Well, the soonest is, and I'll
So 2026, the impact in 2026, which is now, I guess this was recorded a day ago, so it's very current.
give you a headline tip. Today at the United Economic Club, we're going to announce one of the earliest openings of tax season in history. So
they're opening the earliest tax season in January.
January 26th, tax season's going to open.
January 26th this year. 26th, okay, 2026. January 26th, 2026.
You're going to see what is likely record.
I don't know what it usually is. And I'm in Canada, so I'm kind of just looking in and seeing what's going on in America on the internet.
Refunds to working families because the one big beautiful bill was passed July 4th. We did not, because I'm also the IRS commissioner, we did
IRS commissioner. He's also the IRS commissioner.
not give
He's got a big job.
employers new withholding schedules. So, and it's retroactive throughout the year. So we're going to see very large tax refunds due to the president's signature policies: no tax on tips, no tax on overtime,
Okay, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime,
no tax on Social Security.
no tax on Social Security. I guess these are, I don't know if these are new policies. I think they are, I would say, but I haven't researched it at all.
Deductibility of American-made autos. So the refund season in the first quarter is going to be big.
The refund season in the first quarter is going to be big
Working Americans will change their withholding schedule,
for working Americans.
and they will get a weekly, monthly boost up in their real incomes. And that's how we're going to
That's how they're going to get that's how they're going to get a boost in their real income.
tackle this terrible affordability crisis that Biden left us with. We are holding down cost, and then we're going to bring up real income.
Tell me quickly about the Trump accounts for newborn babies. I think that hasn't gotten a lot of attention, but long term.
I've heard of this. Trump accounts for newborn babies. What is that?
Could be some major impacts there.
It's going to get a lot of attention. All your viewers watch the Super Bowl right after the national anthem.
There's going to be a baby boom in America.
We're going to have a big rollout, and these are incredible. I think President Trump, in my view, saved our country when he came in this year, but I think his legacy is really going to be these Trump accounts in 20, 30, 40, 50 years. That
Trump accounts in 20, 30, 40, 50 years. He's looking into the future, man, which is great.
what we are doing for the term of his presidency, every newborn child is going to get $1,000 that will be invested in the American stock market. So
Okay, every baby born is going to get $1,000 invested into the American stock market. Is that what he said?
he came in this year, but I think his legacy is really going to be these Trump accounts in 20, 30, 40, 50.
Trump accounts in 20, 30, 40, 50 years, says Secretary Pheasant.
Years that what we are doing for the term of his presidency, every newborn child is going to get $1,000 that will be invested in the American stock market. So right now, Scott, 38% of
every baby born is going to get $1,000 invested in the American stock market.
Americans have no stake in the stock market. Everybody else, maybe directly through stocks, through 401k, through some other employee pension. Now, I think we can get everyone invested in the system. Everyone will get to participate in the great innovation, economic machine that is the United States. And so that
it's quite exciting.
$1,000 is going to come from the government, but then either parents can top it up, parents, friends, employers can top it up to $5,000. And I'm going to challenge the folks at the Economic Club in Minneapolis today. Employers can top it.
The Economic Club in Minneapolis. He's going to be challenging them today to do something. Just a minute. This coming in just now.
Up. You can
to top it up.
Do something for all of your employees. You can adopt a city. You can adopt
a city. Okay.
A zip code. You can adopt a school.
Adopt a zip code, adopt a school. I know I'm just repeating what he's saying.
School district. So I think we're going to go well beyond the $1,000 and the power of compounding here.
The power of compounding.
When an ordinary person gets to be 65, they could have $500,000. So
And when they get to be 65, they'll have $500,000.
you'll have the two building
Could, I guess.
blocks for a great retirement. You'll have Social Security, which is a monthly, the stabilized payment, defined benefit plan, and then you will get this payout of a nest egg, and it'll be like nothing we've seen before.
Let's talk a little bit about two areas.
This is fantastic. The nest egg is super important.
We spent a lot of time talking about on my radio show and from listeners, and that's the ag economy and then also small businesses. On the ag side, obviously it's been years and years and years of tough stuff. Cost of production well below what they're, well above what they're getting, and it's just going backwards every year. And now obviously there's bumps from the trade thing. The one hope you hear a lot about is some tax policy that's a little wonky that has helped them, 45Q and Z. I know those discussions are being on. You anticipate those continuing to the degree they are, and what would you say for farmers that are really worried about the trade deal, especially China and soybeans?
So if we work backwards there, Scott, that we have reinforced with the Chinese counterparts that.
So he's asking about, for the agricultural people, the people that grow the food, and specifically soybeans, what's going to happen there?
With President Trump, the farmers love President Trump. President Trump loves his farmers. And every time, I'm on every phone call with Party Chair Xi. So every time President Trump speaks to him, he pushes him to make sure that he is living up to his purchase agreements. So this year, 12.5 million metric tons every year for the next 3 years, the 25 million tons a year. I think that we are about 80% done with this season in terms of their buying. And look, costs are up in terms of the planting season. But
Did I get that right? That Xi is going to buy soya from American farmers to the tune of the numbers he just said?
the other thing that's happened is this was a bountiful harvest. This was, for better or worse, this was a great crop year.
It's why
America had a great crop year this year.
a lot of people are looking to keep more of that crop at home, more of the processing, more value added, and that's where 45Z and Q come in.
Yeah, exactly. So we are trying to break our dependence on these export markets. As you may know, I was involved in farming. My family's been in
North Dakota too, I believe.
In North Dakota, but my family's been in the farming business since 1670s in South Carolina. And what I can tell you,
Been in farming since 1670s. Wow. Interesting. This is a long history he has in farming.
is I think there's a very good chance that the Chinese may come begging us for more soybeans next year, because we are seeing what may be the beginning of the La Nina weather pattern in the southern hemisphere, which would mean that the Brazilian, the Argentinian soybeans might get scorched. So if I were still in the farming business, I would not hedge my beans for next year.
And just quickly before we go to small business, anything on the biofuels front that you can say on that tax policy?
We'll be out with the ruling. We've submitted it to OIRA, who has to review everything, and in the coming weeks we'll be out with the 45Z ruling. But I think it's going to be very favorable.
Good. On small businesses, same thing, especially interest rates, right, and inflation hammering them big time. I've heard some folks talk about some sort of rescue package, might be the wrong word, but not unlike what's being done with farmers for small businesses. I know there's packed into that one big beautiful bill a lot, but is there any thought of hyper-focusing on the small businesses?
Well, what we're trying to do is I've been hyper-focused on Main Street versus Wall Street, and I called it parallel prosperity, because we saw Wall Street for years has done great. Main Street got left behind, and I'm from the financial services industry, and I think one of the reasons for that, and as Treasury Secretary, it's something that I can control, is that since the great financial crisis, we have seen small and community banks, 50% of them disappear, and they are the engine for Main Street. So I am the
In America, the small banks are the engine for Main Street.
chair of something called the Federal Supervisory Oversight Council, or the Financial
Federal Supervisory Oversight Council.
Supervisory Oversight Council, and we have been pushing back on regulations that have hurt small banks. So we have tried to make it easier.
Talking about reducing regulations that have been hurting small banks.
For them to make safe and sound loans, to work for their communities. We're taking down regulation, we're taking down AML requirements. You know, who knows their clients better than small banks? So I think that the amount of credit that's going to be available for small business in 2026 is going to be off the charts.
And of course, that interest rate has to come down. I know Moody's is saying 3 early in the year. Do you agree with that?
What I believe is that the Federal Reserve is still in restrictive territory. There's this idea of, the neutral rate is what doesn't change the economy. The restrictive rate bites, pulls the economy down. The stimulative rate accelerates the economy. And I think the Fed should just get to neutral. And I think around 3%, 2.5%, 3% is probably where most models.
So the Fed should just get to neutral, 3-something %
would say the neutral rate is.
And should land there by when? You think the first half of the year you get that?
Scott, the 40 years on Wall Street,
I know what you're going to say.
You can pick a level, but never give the time.
Yeah, exactly. Last question. You're here, too, to focus on fraud. Specifically to your role as the Treasury Secretary, what will your focus be? What do you want to leave here with in the way of more scrutiny on what's happening here? And by the way, California, other places, the numbers are as big or bigger than here, and some estimates by the U.S. Attorney here, $9 billion in fraud.
So and $9 billion would be 50%, 50 of the $18 billion that was allocated here. So it's unbelievable. So we're here.
Wow. People are stealing half of the money from the government. 50% of the budget is fraud.
And again, I'm the acting IRS commissioner, and I want to commend, there's a division at IRS called Criminal Investigations, these hardworking men and women, and they're kind of cool cats because they are financial accountants who also go out in the field, they carry guns, and they do enforcement, and they're the ones who broke the Minnesota scandal. So IRS led the way, and we are going to continue doing that, but I'm bringing in.
The IRS led the way in breaking the Minnesota scandal of the Somalian thefts.
Treasury, because there is something rotten here in the financial system, in the banking system, in these money service businesses where money is being wired out of the country. We are working on an executive order that will say if you are on public assistance, you cannot wire the money out of the country. If the American people are the most generous people in the world, and that money is for you and your family. It is not for the people you left behind in Mogadishu. It is not to fund some terrorist organization.
I totally agree with that. Both of those things. Of course, obviously, terrorist organizations should not be getting money from American taxpayers. But also the families of immigrants should also not be getting American taxpayer money.
Over there, and if you've got extra money to wire out of town, then you're getting too much of it, and maybe you committed fraud.
Do you anticipate public officials being held accountable criminally?
Look, who knows where this could go? I was not shocked to see that with the hearings or with this audit group in St. Paul who came out and said that public officials are trying to backdate, they're trying to erase files, they're trying to cover their tracks, and as we know, the cover-up can be worse. So we're going to start there, but we are going to do this from top to bottom. We're going to figure out how it happened here, and then we are going to use the investigations here to take that model to every other state. debate because, as you said, just because of the size of California, Illinois, New York, that the dollars are gigantic. And it's got their GAO, General Accounting Office, believes that we could be losing between 300, 500, 600 billion a year to fraud. So that's 10% of the federal budget, 1 to 2% of GDP. President Trump just came out yesterday and said he'd like to increase the defense budget by 500 billion to counter what's going on in the rest of the world. Well, guess what? We wouldn't have to borrow any money, we wouldn't have to raise taxes if we can recover all these fraudulent funds.
Mr. Secretary, thank you for coming. Keep up the great work.
Good to see you.
Our best to the president.
Yep. He's working hard every day and every night.
That was fun. All right, we're going to end the stream now. Thanks for watching, and talk to you
Let me go
later.
back to this issue of the political future.